I'll be right with you. I'm starting the live stream. Hi, how are you?
Good, GM. How you doing?
Yeah, to you. Hold on 2 seconds. Okay, we are live.
Awesome. Thanks, for having us. We're super excited to, be here and yeah.
Give me 2 more minutes. I'm gonna 2 more seconds actually. Gotta get my co-host on here.
No worries.
Hi. My friend Michael's in the space. Also want to say hi to him. And I wanted to give I didn't know if she wanted to join. I invited her to speak. And then I have Carlos, who is my co-host. We're on our you guys, our 19th episode. And Lynn, my co-host on my other space, Social Chats, Healthy Lifestyles here too. I want to say hi to her. She is with NFTs for Freedom. So, okay, we're gonna go ahead and start. Oh, there's my co-host. Invite to co-host. So for disclosure, we're streaming on Facebook, our Facebook group, and also on Twitter. My station is Social Chats. We've been streaming since February of 2010. So we have YouTube, and when I'm done with all this, I'm gonna cut it up. I'm gonna write a blog. So it'd be really good for your project because when people search online, you'll see it takes like a couple days, but we get indexed pretty quick. And let me see what Carlos. Where are you? Here, let me bring Carlos as a speaker. Hey Carlos, why don't you request and then there you go. Hi Carlos. Yeah, let's go ahead and start. I'm going to say really do a quick intro. I want to say hi to everyone. Welcome to NFTs for a Cause. This is our episode 19. My co-host Carlos is here. He was I missed you the last two shows, Carlos, but I'm so glad you're here with us today. I'm gonna give Carlos one moment, and then we have Brent. Also, I'm gonna make Brent a co-host and see if he wants to come up and be a co-host. Also, the more the merrier. And we're gonna give everyone the mic a little bit after this, because what I wanted to do is really chat with the team of Backpack Buddies and find out more about their project. I love the Build On organization. I researched them quite a bit. And so we have the team here today, and I wanted to say hi to everybody. But Carlos, how are you doing, Carlos? I want to say hi to you before we start. Okay, so we have on speaker today my friend F, who shared the tweet to me. That's when I got noticed about what their project was. I don't think I even realized what I was doing, but I like listening to different projects and raise awareness by each one of them because we believe that when you empower an organization, nonprofit, or even a project somewhere across the world or down or in our neighborhood, it makes a huge difference. So I want to say hi to F. Hey F, how are you?
Hey, buddy. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing that tweet with me.
Thank you for not reacting bad because we were doing a little bit of pushing, getting the name out there, spreading the word. I believe there's no reason to have like followers, right? If we can't like send them love and send them like little things that we are getting up to. If the emotion is in the way of all of us becoming a community and showing appreciation. I don't think like anything's farther than a DM. So I'm always one away.
And that's the most important thing when you have a project, and especially you're giving back, you should always share. When you share, you care, right? Oh, you care when you share, whichever you want to call it. We also have on the mic is Karan Gable, who is here also. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Tanya. Thank you so much for having us here today. We're super excited to speak with you and, yeah, just to share what we're kind of doing here, trying to make the world a better place, trying to do it together as a community, working together. And yeah, thanks so much for having us.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys for being here. And then I think I was supposed to have Mike. Is Mike on in the Backpack Buddies?
Yep, I'm
Yep.
Crypto Mike. So yeah, thanks for having us, and yeah, anytime we're invited to something like this, NFTs for a cause, we love coming because we like to connect to other communities too. So I'll definitely be popping into number 20 now that I know about it.
And my co-host Carlos, I see his mic is open. Hey, Carlos. Carlos is in Venezuela, so the internet might go in and out. But Crypto Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What empower you guys, or what inspire you to start Backpack Buddies, and when did you get into NFTs, and what's your background? And then I'd love to hear from Kieran, and we can go from there.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, I could give a little intro. I guess I'll start with me and my background. So I'm actually a teacher. So, during the pandemic, I was teaching online, and I started to get into crypto too. I started learning about it because I, just didn't have a lot of stuff to do at home. And I became really interested in like the technology, right? And like the utility and stuff like not really in the money making side per se, trading. I eventually got into that, but at first, like, okay, this can solve this issue, etc. And then I heard about NFTs, and then I first, got my first NFT. Didn't quite understand it, so when I heard about it, so I bought one to understand it, become part of community. And then early on, I saw that NFTs, like for me, what they're able to do because they're about storytelling, and with NFTs combined with the art, we're able to move people and combine it with that technology to do to make change, right? So yeah, I really wanted to do something that was tied to what I'm doing as well. So I wanted to make a project about building schools, and this was before the buddies. And we were thinking about different things. I had so many different ideas, and I was actually talking to one organization. Um, I forgot the exact name off the top of my head. Um, and they were building schools out of like recycled plastic bottles and stuff like that. And then eventually, I was like, we were searching more. And one night we pretty much came up with the buddies. We were drawing like different characters, and we drew this one character, and it had a backpack, and I was like, well, backpack buddies, and it just went along better with what we did, what we want to be. Like it kind of represented who we were, which is about building schools and people coming together and buddies helping buddies. So from there, we just had fun with it. I actually made a rap song, my first song ever, in my garage, and sent it to a few of my buddies, and then we all came in and we started talking. Well, they were like, "What is this, buddies? Backpack buddies?" And then we started talking. I started saying like, how we can incorporate like who we are into it, and we started doing all right, day one buddies, even for our whitelist or for our early supporters, and that came from like things that um I guess who are personal to us on the team. So like for me, I'm like a soccer fan, so there's like this day one season ticket holders, and I take a lot of pride in that. So that's like we really added just who we are to the project. Same thing for we have a concept call where you can earn bags and get stuff like stickers, etc. And that came from that as well, where we were like being a bag filler, being versus a bag dipper, and so yeah, that's pretty much how the project came together, and it's about buddies helping buddies, and everything we do is about trying to create that culture. So building the schools is just like a first milestone that we could all celebrate together, but we want to continue that culture moving forward. So we have live paint nights and co-creation. We're encouraging people to co-create and be cooperative. And yeah, looking forward to doing other things beyond building the schools as well.
That's great. So, let me go ahead and I have some people wanting to grab the mic, but to restart the player, I'm gonna restream this whole thing out again because it didn't sound the way I like it to sound. So, um, so, so let's continue on with your team. I noticed that you have a very strong team, a very tight team, actually. So can we go ahead and I think what happened to your there she is. Karan, can you tell us about yourself and how did you guys get connected? Uh, so you're the moderator.
Yeah, definitely. So, hi everyone. My name is Karen Gabel, and I am an artist. So, my journey just has been trying different things throughout my life. I mean, I've been creative since I was a child, but growing up, you kind of hear things like, being an artist is not a real job, and that's not a way to make money. So I kind of, you know went away from this kind of an area, and then over time, well, very recently, earlier this year, I kind of came across NFTs, and my brother connected me with Mike. And so I've learned so much from these guys, and basically, I kind of just, became friends with the group, with the team, and then they had something called Mission Co-Creation. And so this is kind of where I got back into my art. It was actually really interesting because it was kind of a coincidence because at the same time I met the team, I also began volunteering with our local police. So here in Toronto, Canada, we have the Peel Police, and they have a program that's called Art for Her. So those are in-person paint along, like paint night classes for children for after school, just extracurricular activities. And so I was just beginning, this journey of painting, instructional tutorials. And then, this Backpack Buddies team came along and they had their Mission Co-Creation. So, I had the opportunity here to kind of practice my art, and we kind of like do these so what we do is, in our Discord, I will do a live painting. And part of the co-creation is that whoever is attending, I will take suggestions from them, and they kind of give their input so that this art piece becomes something that we created together as a community. So it might be my hand creating the painting, but it's actually all ideas from community members. And so, yeah, it's just been so much fun. And one thing I really love is that there's been a lot of like community support, especially encouragement for artists and our Backpack Buddies community. And, I see that they're always celebrating them, highlighting them. And it's just like a really, kind, loving, welcoming space to be. So, yes, I just started as a moderator, but, I've grown really close with the team, and it's just a really great group of people to be around. So, yes, that's about it. But thank you so much.
So yeah, I noticed you do live painting. Tell us. I know you mentioned it. Can we talk a little bit more about it? Like that's really cool. That's very community.
Yeah.
I could pin. There's actually a giveaway related to the live paintings where I just posted a few of them so you can see, but there's more in the Discord as well. Is it okay if I pin it?
Yeah, pin them. This is your space. We're featuring
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I'll just make it sure.
We're doing
But
stuff like
yeah, so this is a giveaway. Everyone can get a buddy, but you can also check out like all of those except for the first one was they were all made in Discord live, and yeah, and we didn't actually know what we were painting. It was just like, hey, make the sky. On the last one, for example, with the PFP the F has was like someone said make the sky purple, and then the sky was purple, and then all of a sudden, she started painting this, and they're like, oh, do waterfall, and then at the end they're like, oh, put F's buddy there and make under by a cave, and that was so it was just like a lot of fun, cool co-creation, and you know um we're also stepping outside of our box because we have like paint along. So I'm painting, and other people that never painted before have as well. So that's a part of the fun.
That is so good for you too. I mean, it's like so incredible. I think and Lynn, did you have your hands up? Did you want to ask a question or share?
Oh, hey, I just wanted to say hi to my friends F and Mike. I love Backpack Buddies. They're one of the projects that I support or communities. I know at times I'm a little bit AWOL. I mean, I'm always checking the discords and stuff. I've just had a few things happening lately, but yeah, I love the Backpack Buddies. I love what they're doing, and I really think that this is an amazing way that we can support what they're doing, with the NFT. And I mean, I don't get into the Discord and do the art classes and stuff like that. I probably should actually because they look really cool. It's often that things are on outside of my time zone. That's the main problem I have being in Australia. Everyone goes, "Oh, we want to be in the future," but I miss out on so much because of my time zones. But I love Mike, and I haven't met Kieran before, but amazing. I hear lots about you. But yeah, F and Mike are part of another project that I'm involved in as well. So I love them, and I thank you so much, Tonya, for having them on and helping them to bring their message out to the community.
Well, thank you for joining us. Hey, Carlos.
Hello, hello. Good night, everybody. I'm talking to you from Caracas, Venezuela, South America. After 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I don't remember. I had a medical break, short break, but I'm back now, authorized by the doctor. So what I want to say is something that I started listening at the beginning regarding the building of schools. And this is important beyond a point, because if you look at the reality of the actual planet we are living in, it's true. I mean, that the schools are issued like such a huge necessity, because I know there is that old meme that shows just like how the microwave cooking has changed in 100 years, and how plane flying or traveling have changed in 100 years. And you see the schools and the classrooms, and you see just like the same. Okay, that could be fixed and need to be fixed. But the problem is that you have a lot of technology, okay, but you will always need the place to be with other human beings. I mean, technology alone by itself won't ever do it. Never will be like that. We need to be together. We need to be in just like a very healthy competition. We need teachers. We need the group. I mean, so it's the school building will always be a big need, just like oxygen. So I am so happy that you are working about that. It doesn't matter what happens after you build the schools. Okay, you have to control maybe the tablet use. Everybody, there is too much connection, whatever. But you need to be together. I mean, we are human beings. We need the contact, and we have suffered 2 years long of what horrible thing is to be separated. So God bless you all for this school building project.
And also, I wanted to give the mic to Rich B. He wanted to raise his hand, and then I want to ask some questions about the backpack themselves, because I love the way they look, and why backpack. I mean, backpack represents kids in school, but let's let Richard B. go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, first off, I want to say thank you so much for hosting this nice event. This is the first time I hop into your Twitter space, and I've been hearing but nothing but really wonderful initiatives making a change in the world, especially for schools. Education is super, super, super important, especially the space we're in right now. And I think especially NFT's project that are wanting to make a big difference in reality are those that, you really want to look forward to, that you really want to invest in and feel like you're part of something grand. And just listen to this. I love these type of projects where you're really making something that's going to go above and beyond. And I'm just here, just want to stick around and listen more about it. And I know, I'm guessing it's on the Ethereum blockchain, if I'm not correct, right? So that's awesome. And I think that's super cool. And I really want to go ahead and join your Discord and see more and learn more about you guys. Yeah, but thank you so much for allowing me to be up here. It's been super wonderful. Thank you.
So, so I want to thank you for being here too, by the way. So let me ask you guys something. Why backpack?
Yeah, I would say to build off of what Richard said. So like, you know, it was crazy because me and F were always talking about building these schools already before the buddies came. And it's kind of ironic because in a way we're like, hey, we're gonna build these schools with our buddies. And it's like kind of a thought like, wait, yeah, we're gonna go build schools. It's not something that you might hear every day, but it's something I told F. I'm like, yo, we're gonna go build schools, and we talked and dreamed about actually going on foot and what they call breaking ground, doing like the first foundation of the schools. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's backpacks because backpacks for me represents traveling, and going all over different places, and we want to bring kindness to the whole world. But also, when I think of a lot of my buddies, I grew up playing sports. It's like we were always traveling and moving together with our backpacks. So it's like your day one buddies. It also represents that. So yeah, that's what it is to me.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid, my backpack meant a lot to me. It was something especially the first day of school, you always have to, and I also myself personally, because I actually so funny, she just texted me, Daphne, one of my members of my Women in Communication, she is from Haiti originally, and so she does this school campaign thing to raise stuff. So I bought like 24 backpacks to donate to her cause. And then I also bought a whole bunch of paper. I don't know how they got it to Haiti, but I think it's really important. And, what I love is about your project is being able to do this and also provide, if you're donating your proceeds, like, let me ask you, how much is your proceeds? How much from your mint? How much are you donating toward this?
So pretty much half the mint, so it's 72,000. Um, going into building the school in Guatemala and Malawi, and the first that's like where we're sending funds first. As soon as it hits that point, we're gonna let the community know that we've funded it, and then we're gonna follow through and with the progress of the actual building of the schools throughout the whole thing.
Oops, Richard's, I guess he left.
No, I'm still here. I was actually going to ask the question of where you're going to be starting to build these schools. And you said Guatemala, correct?
Yes, we actually left it up to the community. There's a bunch of schools that a country that build on builds in developing countries, and we were actually able to build in all of them except for Haiti. So we actually left it up to the community, and they voted for Guatemala. So at around, I think, at each price right now, when we sell 600 buddies, around that number, we'll be able to fund that school in Guatemala, and then the next 600 will be able to fund the school in Malawi. Um, and yeah, and it's all through Given Blog, so everyone can see it on the blockchain. And Build On is they've been in spaces as well, and they're really reputable if you don't know about them. And there's actually a lot of reasons as to why we specifically chose to work with Build On that goes beyond the building schools. It's the way that they build it, because they don't just build a physical structure, they build communities. And that's what we're doing here. So there's lots of stuff like that. If you have any questions about Build On, or I've heard them talk so many times that I think almost repeat what Alex says.
I was going to ask them to come on the show, just to kind of like, because I had heard about them, I think like early this year. I'm trying to remember when someone else another project was telling me about them, and in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, I have to reach out to these people, and then it turns out that you guys were working with them, so I was like, oh, let me just find out what they think, and then we can go from there. So, and so why 3,333 buddies? That's my favorite number. So I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, I would say at the beginning we actually wanted to be a 10K project. But as we were building out the project, we realized like our personalities don't we're not shillers, and the way that we were trying to, I guess, sell something was we were making like a lot of ethical decisions that sometimes like maybe slows down the hype. And we realized that like what we are about is about knowing almost every single person in our community, and that's why we've been building since January. And we just thought that with 3,333 we'll be able to do more for our buddies, because um you know there'll be more rarity, like each one of them will be way more unique. And we could just focus in on that community and build from there. And just really give a shout out to our day ones along the way. And we didn't really need we even looked at like, okay, are we still going to be able to accomplish all the stuff in the roadmap, etc. And we also just noticed that like we didn't really need to sell 10,000 to accomplish the things that we want to do. And especially kind of taking into fact like this is our first project and the space is about trust. We want to show people that we can build the schools, that we will build the schools, and then from there, like be able to build trust through this 3,333, and really like prove ourselves in the space to maybe launch another project that's bigger. But until that point, like we are just teachers and people just trying to make the world a better place. So yeah, that's what for me what went into us bringing it down to 3,000 is like just being humble and kind of saying to ourselves like everyone in here, the buddies that help us build the school is putting a lot of trust in us. And yeah, we appreciate that. And yeah, that's basically it.
I would like to sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I would love to get with you after you're finished with this AMA. I definitely know a lot of connections that could definitely align with your vision, and I would love to definitely reach out to you after this. So I think that's a very, very, very great way of reaching out and definitely sending out a message and doing all these things. Because I mean, in the end of the day, you don't have to do this, but you're doing this out of the kindness of your heart, and you have a community right behind you that believes in the same structure, the same vision that you have that you want to bring on towards the world. And it's super honorable, and I can tell just by hearing your voice, you're like a nomad. You're a traveler. You're a sightseer. You go to these places and you look past the horizon, and you just see the bigger picture. So yeah, definitely, I definitely want to reach out to you and talk with you more about this project. And yeah, no, I think you're doing fantastic. And Tonya is such an amazing host. And Kieran, I've been hearing about your art and stuff like that. So definitely I'm definitely checking out the Twitter pictures right now. Beautiful artworks. I mean, I have the hardest time just trying to draw a stick figure. I can't draw one to save my life, but you know what? I respect all talents of art. Art is art, and it definitely comes from the soul, and then and it speaks volume because you put meaning behind it. Every stroke of the way of a pen, pen, pencil, paintbrush, whatever you're using. And yeah, no, thank you. I'm just running on, but yeah, no, I'm just I love it. I love it.
So I'm on your I appreciate you being here, Richard. So I'm on your website and I'm looking at your roadmap, and it's very interesting, by the way. So can you tell us about your roadmap and some of the things? And like I noticed you have everything. I mean, from the merch to the IRL events to the 3D buddies and even an arcade game. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think I'll start with, even since we're talking about, donating to schools, I'll start with there because someone asked a great question in another space yesterday, which was like, what, which basically made me rephrase it into thinking, like, one of the things we always do when we have Build On in our spaces, we tell people, like, you can donate directly to Build On. For us, like, when we are building the school, like this is not only a donation, like this actually shows like who we are as a culture and a brand that we want to create. Like it's supposed to start what's to come next. So that's something I always kind of like kind of want to clarify, because when I was thinking early on in this, in October, about how projects could be, I saw a lot of projects like that sell out and they pay influencers, and I just thought, why not just do something and let it speak for itself? And that's a big reason as to why I even thought to build schools. So that's a part of it. Going into that, so there's a lot of stuff going on, and the merch is definitely something big. And we also, want to do a lot of Web2 stuff. And we have buddy stories, things like that. I'll let F talk because I'm talking way too much, but I'll jump back in right after. I feel like I've answered all the questions. Go ahead, F and Karen.
You want me to take over on buddy stories? Because I totally
Yeah,
will.
or maybe just go through the different parts of the roadmap that we have. We could maybe even pin one of it above.
Yeah,
it'd be great if you could pin that down because they'll be part of the video.
Yeah, let me scroll down and I'll try to pin one.
So I'm gonna jump right onto the buddy stories, and like I express art and I intake art in different ways, right? I always went for feelings and stories behind my art. The visuals were kind of right. I'm in the same boat of like I can appreciate hours, right? Like I've sat in tattoo chairs for hours, and I think I appreciate the hours more than the tattoo sometimes. Um, and just being a fan of the space, right? I haven't been, I make my own little stories about my NFTs, and I go with the lore of what somebody else said, and there's something magical about putting yourself in the shoes of what your power is, right? So through these buddy stories, we don't want to just like, hey, this is Wagme vibes, the buddies are lit, right? I kind of want a little bit of real world in there, have these comics or videos, whatever they come out to um, be something so personal that it affects everyone, right? We all have these connections and these ties and these stories, and we're all here in the NFT space, and we all landed in this one collection. How similar are we? There are so many pages of this book, and we're all inside of it. I don't know. So the buddy story started in two different ways. We started like writing Medium articles and talking about our personal lives a lot more in spaces and publicly. Um, so seeing our stories right now, it's, how the song was developed and the feelings behind the song. And like, just really the go point is our first one. But when it comes to mine, I can't wait to share. Like I felt some sort of powerlessness once upon a time. I grew up in the not right ways. I did all the wrong things to learn what the right things were. And I want to show it not only through my story, but have a story there for people to look back on after I do actions to change the world around me. But that's the buddy story and how I imagine it. The community is going to take it however the community does, and I want to empower them to do all that they can. Um, I'm also going to apologize for all the thunder and lightning. I didn't create it, but it's just happening.
I have it too. We're in the same.
Yeah. We're really close to each other. It's really cool how the world works, and just seeing the impact, right, and seeing these waves ripple. I'm really excited for the buddy stories.
And like in terms of merch too, I'll just like kind of tie what F just said in that is that we want to, tell a story. We want to tell stories and through our comics and even animations, and really have people engage and to show like it has to be about buddies helping buddies, right? And then what in terms of the merch, like one of the things that like I've always thought about because I've have a lot of NFTs myself is that I don't want to be like kind of walking down the street. Someone says, "Hey, what is that? That's really cool," and I could just tell them like it's just an NFT. I want to be able to say like, "Hey, we're buddies. We actually built two schools, or we did this. We do live paint nights together." So that's also like how like the impact of like I feel like and the pride that we will take in like building the schools will affect us moving forward as well. Um, but we definitely also have a vision of like if you've ever heard of One Tree or Tom's, where in the Web2 world where it's a brand that when you buy their products like you can help donate to certain things. So We have a vision to, you know, build that out and to have exclusive stuff for our buddies in the community that, you know, help make it happen. So our day ones, we really cherish like moments in history. So like being there for the building of the schools, minting that. You'll have exclusive things for that. So that's one thing that we want to do. Um, and yeah, I don't know what else is on the roadmap, or our 3D buddies that we're excited for as well. And we haven't dropped too much information on that, but we're excited for that. And one thing that's really really cool that I'm most excited for, actually, one of the things is co-creation collectibles, and that is, you know, being able to support some of the live artists that are in our Discord, celebrate that art, and maybe have the community members being able to own some of those pieces without getting into the super detail, spoiling, so dropping too much alpha. That's what we want to do. We want to celebrate the community members in it, and then members who are maybe not visual artists, or audio artists, can enjoy the community's art.
I love that. Carlos, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I have a question. Yeah, I would like to, since they are in working mainly in Guatemala, which the main language there is Spanish. I don't know if how many. I guess that maybe some of you speak Spanish or are starting to learn it. But what's the most usual reaction of happiness? I mean, when the kids get to a new school or see it or two questions in this case, what's the most usual reaction of happiness, of joy? And the second question is, what has been something that has been going faster than you expected, and another thing that is going slower than you expected?
So the first one, F, do you want to answer? Put your hand up.
Yeah, I'll take a swing at it, and I'm also gonna ping up a smiling face to go along with this. So, with the smiling face, I think one of the purest moments is like I had a chat with Aled from Build On, and he was explaining, right, how it's the community that they build is six fathers, six mothers, and these kids get to see their parents working hard for something, and even sometimes the kids, like this one's painting, like that's pure, that's something that's like
Yeah, so they don't just build the structure, like they're building it with them, so that they care about it.
yeah, I would say that's definitely like the pride and the happiness right there, right? It's something that's not just dropped in like a gift. It's pride in the community, it's happiness, and it's something that tells stories, you know, like that's generational, and I don't know, something about it just makes me like tingle when I think about that.
I think that's wonderful, because if you are really doing this kind of teamwork, you're getting also team joy, team happiness like a team of happy people doing fighting for the same goal, and I think that's wonderful. And regarding my second question in the before time, I wanted to know what thing in the project, what has been going faster than you expected, and which has been going slower than you expected.
I don't know if I can answer. I could try to answer that question to the best of my ability. I would say one, um, we've had many obstacles along the way. Some of that is, you know, us, you know, trying to wait for the perfect time to do things, us trying to build community and maybe taking our time, obstacles to maybe letting people know about what we're doing. So anytime we actually, you know, get to talk to anybody in a space, new people, they love what we're doing. They want to be a part of it. But it's about getting that word out there, and there's different strategic ways, right? Like it's through certain tweets or Discord announcements, or um, collabs, and you have to really collab properly. And it's so for that, it's been a learning process for me because I've done a lot of that stuff. but word of mouth has been our best thing. And even though I would say like there's been a lot of great communities that have helped spread the word about us as well. I think that's again why we focus in on that 3,000 collection, because we're best at just having conversations like this. And it started in conversations like this. It started in some spaces with just 4 or 5 people talking one by one, letting people know what we're doing, and then come hang out with us. So yeah, those are the obstacles, is the speed, for sure, of letting people know the word out there, especially because nobody actually owns our buddies yet. When people do and they get to see them, and just because we hardly, there's over 300 traits, when they really see it, and that's why we have like immediate mint reveal, like there's no pre-reveal, because we really want people to represent and be proud of their buddies and let people know. And I think that's where um, the word will spread even more about us. But other than that, getting the word out there, um, I'd say there's just obstacles that each team faces with in their personal lives, just like everyone else. So dealing with different things, and having our buddies' backs, and sometimes um, you know doing some roles that maybe we didn't sign up for, learning new things, how to build websites or mediums. So yeah, those are the things that you maybe didn't expect at all. So it's not really a speed thing. It's
That's what I was referring to. More than talking about the word obstacles, which I don't like. It's just like sometimes when you do a commitment with a project or something, as you get into maybe a relationship, maybe building a rocket, maybe just making a travel around the world. I mean, you find surprises. I mean, that I was talking about slower and faster things in the mean
Mhm.
of surprise. Just like,
Each,
oh, I expected this was going to take 1 month. So, oh, we did it in a week. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Or
I think
maybe just was you were expected to do something in 1 month and it's taking 3 months and you are still doing it.
yeah,
But
I and
not like obstacles.
yeah, and I'd say that I would say like we even got to where we are now, which is months after. And even in our team, if people are talking about in the space, not a great time to mint, etc. And yeah, that's when I kind of told the team, like, and we talked about it. We all said like, yes, we're on the same page. Is that we want to not only talk about what we're gonna do, we actually just want to start doing it. Um, so yeah, some of the obstacles is definitely just getting the word out there, and then learning a lot of stuff along the way, that we never knew, maybe or weren't aware of those things. But yeah, that's been a part of it too. It's like learning. Like I've grown so much. Like after this, I could say that like I could do things before that. Hey, I thought I needed help to do it, and now, because when you really believe in something, and it's not being done, you go and you learn it, and then you do it. So I've learned so much stuff. And yeah, I guess that's what it comes down to, speed. It's maybe, if, if that makes sense, if that answers the question.
Well, I want to give you a gift, a piece of advice, which is actually a gift for this kind of project you are in, or for everybody in general in life. My grandfather, my late grandfather, he had a wonderful phrase. I don't know where he got it from. And he always said, when something was going wrong, he said, don't look for the culprits, look for the solutions. Sometimes when there's something going bad, people is just like, oh, this happened because of the who and the this person, so and so. No, no, don't look for the culprits. I mean, we cannot pass here. Let's go for a solution. We cannot go in this road. Let's find another road. We can use this car. Let's move and find another car. Let's not lose time. Look, oh, we didn't. We weren't able to use the yellow car because Carlos said it doesn't matter. I mean, find solutions. Find solutions. If you have a mind frame based, a focus on solutions, you will always go fast and everybody will be happier.
Yeah, Carlos, 100% agree. And yeah, that's what I would say too. Like, it's really and truly, like, I would not say, oh, everything was perfect. We've had lots of obstacles, but that actually was what makes me more excited, because we didn't really focus on, okay, cry about this. Let's just go and fix it. And that gives me more confidence too. And that's like also like, you know, facing, I guess this what they call a bear market, and people are like, well, what happens if your project doesn't sell out, blah 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 blah. And we don't really think about that. We just think about the positive, and the reality is what will happen. I don't know what will happen if it didn't sell out. Like what would happen if it did sell out, right? Like it's gonna be the same thing. Like we have been doing paint nights since January. Like we've been doing these things. It's not gonna be any different. Like so what's so I guess, you know, it's that speed thing too, and it's like that those obstacles. It's like, okay, yes, we're maybe sometimes going slower, but we know we're going to be here, so there's no reason to, you know, panic.
I had a teacher in high school who said obstacles were lessons. I mean, you have to change. I mean, see, refer to obstacles as lessons, because every obstacle is a lesson in disguise. And so you always learn something from every obstacle. A human obstacle, a physical obstacle, a personal obstacle. Sometimes the obstacle is inside yourself, it's your own fear. Other times the obstacle is outside. It's a huge electrical storm. You cannot do anything about it. But you always can learn a lesson from any kind of obstacle. So, and I think you are working with this some wonderful intention of helping other people. And I believe, truly believe, that when people is helping from the deep of their heart to help others, wonderful things happen. And you just have to keep your faith high, 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 because something in one moment, in 1 week, things change, and everything changes and it starts speed up, and you say it's just like, oh, thank God we were resisting and we were fighting, because here are the results we were fighting for. And I think you look like a very cohesive group. I think you are like a family. It can feel in the way you talk, and I really wish you all the good luck with the project, because you deserve it, I think.
Hey, Richard, you had your hands up, or Lynn, I think you had your hands up too. Did you want to ask a question or share?
Yeah, I did want to share what Carlos was saying too. So people do how do you grow? How do you like bring people in? Right, that's the real question. Do you bring people in by like the energy you present towards others, and what your goals are? When you become so passionate towards something, it really sets a reminder in people's heart. Like, okay, you know what? They're super passionate about this. They want to go full throttle with this. Now, here's the thing that I go by in my life all the time. There's always going to be a positive and a negative, and always put your head up high no matter what, and always believe that no matter what you're pursuing, no matter how many times you get down, there's always going to be the opportunity to get back up, and believe that, you know, this is going to be, you know, this is going to be your time. Yes, it's your first project, and, you know, just for like any first project, any first thing, you know, you start, you know, you worry a little bit, but when you have a support system behind you, it just makes it so much easier. And just by, you know, hearing this, you have people who are supporting you, who would love to, you know, hear more about the project, who would love to learn more about you and the people behind it, and everything above. So keep your head up, and there's gonna be you're gonna bring in the right people. Like, things happen to be when they're meant to be. So definitely, I honestly think, you know, I wish you the best of luck, and I do believe that you're going to be making a very strong impact. So just keep on, you know, believing, and keep on dreaming, and work hard. And yeah, Carlos, very, very insightful stuff. Thank you for sharing that as well.
And I think, Karen, did you want to share also? I saw your hands up. It was up.
Yes, I would love to. So thank you so much, Richard. That was really awesome what you said. I think something I always maybe many of you have heard before is like, when you're feeling down, there's nowhere to go but up, you know. And Carlos, thank you so much. Yeah, everything you've been saying has been so great. And actually, something, you know, I've been like saying recently, very similar to what you said, is like, you know, there's no such thing as a mistake. As long as you learn something from it, it's okay, and keep moving forward. And then I wanted to quickly touch on the buddy stories as well, because Again, Carlos, what you said, like in the first time you spoke, you said something about schools, which was that for children, like, yes, it's very important for them to have a space to learn and to, have education, formal education. But the other thing you said was they need a space to come together. And after you said that, that really hit me hard, because that made me think that, like, when I just started painting, like, recently, like, I took a long break and then I recently got back to it, and it was actually after a friend of mine passed away. And like Mike and F, they were saying to me the other day, they're like, "Oh, thank you so much, you're always in Discord, being a good mod and whatnot." But I realized that I'm not even doing it for them, I'm doing it for me. Like, I need that just as much as someone else might need it. Like, I'm going in there every day because I need it. It's purely selfish. Like,
Exactly.
I need the company.
Exactly.
I'm lonely sometimes. So they were thanking me. I'm like, why are you thanking me? Like, I want to talk to people. I want to say good morning. I want to ask them how is your day? How are you? So I just realized it after you said this, that it's purely selfish, which is so funny because, like, for me, like, the painting is all about, I enjoy it so much and I know the colors bring me happiness, and I know that sharing this with other people will bring them joy too. So again, like, I feel like when you have this combination of doing something that you are passionate about, plus it brings you joy, it brings other people joy, yeah, it just becomes this beautiful combination. And I think together we all have that, because we all have our backgrounds in different areas, and we've had different things that happened in our past, and I think those things together have brought us to, like, even closer than ever. So yeah, thanks so much, Carlos. It's been such a great talk with you guys.
Well, I'm going to tell you something because I had my health issue was related with my eye, and the doctor told me something that I had to run to Google and to check it up and to see if that was true, and it is true. Our bodies have like 12 million nervous endings or nervous spots, okay, nervous terminals, or I don't know the exact name. Sorry, because I did learn English reading Mad Magazine. I am 61 years old now, so that was not exactly the best book to learn English for anyone. So I forgot a lot of words. But he told me that there are terminals. I don't know if that's the right word. The human body have 12 millions of these nervous terminals. Well, guess what? 11 out of the 12 millions nervous terminals are devoted just to the sight, to vision. Can you imagine that? You have 12 million nervous cable terminals, whatever you call it, but 11 million are just for the eyes. So imagine the importance of the vision. That's incredible. So colors, feelings, everything. I mean, it's so. There is some many things related to vision, and we can transmit so many things that it's just a wonder to be one. And what I love more about NFTs is you like to change. I mean, that such powerful force is developing, just like with the music of the eyes, because just like colors it's just like the do re mi, like the music. You have all the songs that exist is basically 7 notes only, and all the things you see is just like basically 7 colors, the 7 rainbow colors. So isn't that just like a wonderful magic of the human brain? How can you produce, you know how many million, just like Carl Sagan said, talking about the billions of stars. You know how many billion songs are there and actually exist? You know how many pictures and exist, photograph images? It's incredible, and still we keep creating more and more. So NFTs are just like a new renaissance. For me, this is like the Leonardo da Vinci era all over again, but with some newer technology.
So we have about, it's 7:54. We have 6 minutes. We probably go with 5 minutes, live 5 minutes after. We usually shut down at 60 minutes. But let's talk about your mints, and I want to touch base on that. And who wants to talk about your mints and how's it going? And
Yeah, so we're actually minting soon. We're minting May 31st, so on Tuesday. 3,333 buddies, 300 over 300 traits at 0.033 ETH. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Karen, I feel like now you should run the track because they don't know about the song. Run it.
Oh, yes, of course. We have to share that with you guys. Okay, here we go.
Well, we've had a few songs, in the we have about 10 songs from the community that people have made. So this one's actually mine, my first song I've ever made, and Karen can play hers after.
Here we go.
Live with the backpack buddies. Getting money with our backpack buddies. Filling bags for a whole lot of money. We are one, we are backpack buddies. GM to a backpack buddy. Faces with our backpack buddies. Having fun with a whole lot of money. Nothing fast cause we backpack buddies. Backpack, knapsack. One from way back. Allegiance to that. The press that we rep. We vibing with that. We work and we get. No money, regrets. The squad is the best. We grind with no rest. As tight as can get. GM cut up. GM cut up. Back, back, back. Have a real buddy's back. Back, 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 back. Real buddies have your back. Backpack.
That's a flow. That's feeling. That's
That was
great, man.
awesome. was awesome.
Totally awesome. Yeah,
Thank you
this
so
is
much.
incredible.
So I guess fun fact, not that exact, obviously like recorded version, but the project actually started with that song, which was my first time I ever made a song, and I recorded on a voice memo, sent it to F and everyone else, and that's how we started building.
I need to download it on Spotify now.
Yeah, so along with the painting and the artwork co-creation, there's also music. So yeah, that's another.
arcade. You guys have arcade on your website. Tell us about that. There's a game room. Collect.
Yeah, we're gonna have a series of just fun games. So F actually just made one. We have one of our friends Jasper that might help us make a few others. So just some fun little games. There might be like a what's that one called? Like I forgot what it is, but pretty much there'll be a bunch of little games for people to play. And definitely, in the future, we definitely want to like see the buddies doing many things. So we have lots of dreams. Let's just put it that way, without saying things that we can't promise, but that we want to work towards.
You know what Nike say? Just do it. Just do it.
Exactly.
The one game I've already made is on the website, and it's actually a lot of fun, and it's super cute, easy to play for everyone. So yeah, check that one out too.
F, you should talk about it. You made it, so.
Yeah, I'll definitely talk about it. So we just started talking about, like, I saw everybody around me getting really motivated and doubling down. And I don't necessarily know how to do that as a community manager. We were all already doing events. We're already doing as many spaces as we possibly can. And I've been, playing video games since I was a little kid. Something I see in this space is that we forget that video games are fun. And I don't want to ever deter from that fun. So I don't want to leverage it, as somebody that doesn't know too much about making video games, but is having a lot of fun learning, and just ways that we can empower each other, right? So I took inspiration from my buddy Jasper. He was on the Twitter Spaces one day. He left for 3 days, came back with a full-fledged video game, and a week later he's having land for us and like a place for all of us to hang out. And just seeing him go out and do, like, there's nothing unachievable in this space, right? There's no skill that we can't learn. There's nothing stopping us other than time. And I've got a lot of that, like we're here. So, it started as a little concept, turned into a game. The platform for my learning, version 2 is like in the works. I'm on a different engine and trying out different things. I've learned some fun, cool terms that I've never even known before. And yeah, I really like I just want to surprise the community and see what they think of too, right? If I can offer that.
Listen, Brent, I'm gonna steal your turn because I'm gonna say goodbye with these words. You were talking about fun and having fun is such an important element of creation. But along with creation, I want to leave you with this little piece of advice. When you are creating, forget about competition. Just create, don't compete. I don't know where I read that, but that changed my mind frame so much. It's just like when you're, because many people were out creating, they are just like worried about the competition. It's just like when you are going into the gym. Hey, you are competing against yourself. Forget about the other guy doing just like 300 push-ups. That's not your trouble. Don't compete against that guy. You don't know his history. You don't know, I mean, his genes. Well, the fight is your fight. So don't compete. Just create. When you just create and forget about competition, you fly higher. And thank you very much, and hope to see you and listen to you next week. Good luck with your project. And my best regards to Guatemala from Caracas, Venezuela, also in South America. Bye bye. Well, Guatemala is in Central America. I am in South America, but we are very, very close. And my heart goes there with all my strength. Bye bye.
Talk to you later, Carlos. So, Brent, did you want to ask a question? I wanted to make sure Brent was able to ask his question. Brent?
I was watching this space, was listening to this space on YouTube, but didn't know if I could ask a question.
Okay, ask your question.
How many diverse schools does your NFT project help?
So right now, our main goal is to build the 2 schools, but we want to double down on the buddies helping buddies and still be in the space, right? We want to have those talks and those meetings, not even if it has the buddies branding on it, right? Like just being in this space, being founders, being developers, and having those talks with other collections. I want to lead the whole world into bettering it.
Because
So
I feel that a diverse school is very important.
oh, okay. So as for how Build On does create the environment for the school and the community for the school, they keep it 50-50 between male and female participants within the school and inside of the community that the panel that builds the schools.
Well, as a disability advocate, that was my question of how diverse the schools are with that they build.
Yeah, I'm not exactly too sure on the details of the accessibility and stuff like that at these schools. Um, I think what F was trying to say too, like one of the things that we want to do is to work with all of our buddies to do amazing things. So that comes from, our buddies that are creating metaverses, but also our buddies that are doing things in real life, or other communities. So, part of the backpack too is that like we want to help the homeless, and being able to help create accessibility for everyone is something that we'd love to go in that direction, and have our whole community support to do that stuff as well. So yeah, but I'm not too sure to be honest, about the schools in Guatemala and Malawi in terms of accessibility to it. I'll have to ask Build On.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to Build On and see, and if you could give me a name that I can reach out to. I'd love to do a space with them to talk about their project.
Yeah,
You know who they are,
if
because
you
we had the Giving Block on as I guess like 3 shows ago. They were
That would be amazing if we could do a space and find out about how accessible the schools are that they build, Tanya.
definitely. I'll
yeah,
work on that.
100%. We've actually had a lot of space with it. If you just DM him, his name is Alid behind the Build On account, and he's very responsive on the weekends. Not because I don't think they're working on the weekends, but during the week, always gets back to me. So actually, I messaged him. He didn't get back to me yet. We've had about like 10 spaces with him throughout the months. Um, and we're hoping that they could be there for our Minton. I know that he's gonna pop in for sure. He didn't get my message yet, but yeah. So you guys can come in for that as well. Ask him any questions that you have. And he's very knowledgeable about the NFT space as well. So that's also why we worked with them.
Yeah, just make sure you send me an invite. I'll pop in. When I write the blog, I'm gonna make sure we'll embed your Mint Day into it. So this way, because when I blog, we just take what you post, and if it goes for the story, I just embed your tweet into the blog. So it just kind of go. That's how I design it. But it is now 8:06. Oh no, 8:05. I appreciate everyone for being here. We'll be back next week for our NFTs for a cause. So before we go, can you? Can you tell our listeners a little bit, like how to get a hold of you guys, and again, when is your mint date?
Yeah, so I guess to wrap it up again, Minton May 31st, so Tuesday at 11 o'clock, 11:11. Um, and it is a public mint, so at 0.033 ETH. If you were on day one, buddies, we did a homage, so just a slight discount at 0.03 ETH. And yeah, really excited to build the schools in first Guatemala and then Malawi and more. And actually on Wednesday, so this week we haven't been able to post as much of the events that we usually do, but on Wednesday we are going to be having a paint night, a paint along, where we'll be painting our buddies. If you guys want to come join along, it's gonna be super fun. And so look out for those events, because that's actually, lately we've been talking about, okay, we're minting, this is what we're doing, but we've most of the time been telling people, hey, come hang out with us, like come into our paint nights, etc. So that's something that we enjoy. So also come in for that. And I think that's pretty much it. F, do you want to add anything, or Karen?
Yep, and you can get a hold of us. Our DMs are always open. We're always in our Discord. We're basically always active. Like, all three of us were always available. So, you can come get a hold of us anytime.
Fantastic. So can you leave us? Can we close out with a song?
Karen,
Definitely.
do you want to play your song?
Yeah, sure. So this one is kind of more like I had like a school kind of mindset when I school kid mindset. So here we go. I packed up my backpack. Destination won't be back. I am on the right track to the world around and back, helping our bodies, chilling all the time. We imagine a world with peace and no crime. Let's not waste our time co-creating all the time. A body helps a body, one body at a time. There we go. Thank
Bye,
you so much.
everybody. Welcome to NFTs for a Cause. This is our episode 19. My co-host Carlos is here. He was I missed you the last 2 shows, Carlos, but I'm so glad you're here with us today. I'm gonna give Carlos one moment, and then we have Brent. Also, I'm going to make Brent a co-host and see if he wants to come up and be a co-host. Also, the more the merrier. And we're going to give everyone the mic a little bit after this, because what I wanted to do is really chat with the team of Backpack Buddies and find out more about their project. I love the Build On organization. I researched them quite a bit. And so we have the team here today, and I wanted to say hi to everybody. But Carlos, can you how are you doing, Carlos? I want to say hi to you before we start.